What's poddin', everybody? This has been a long time coming. Have not done this show in forever, really since before my time at Barstool. And joined with me today are two of my former, I guess, coworkers in the New York office, Tommy Smokes and Hubs. I used to work for them on the Short Porch podcast, surprisingly, if you had tuned in on the Jim Tomey stream. But how are you guys doing? Good to see you guys again.
I think we're still coworkers, Jack, for the
Oh,
record.
I guess so. Yeah. In the same office, though.
Yeah. Yeah, good. I've been enjoying watching the clips, listening to you absolutely botch Yankee trivia. It legitimately astounds me every single time. I know it's not like, we did the short porch, you were our producer. It's not like we were, having earth-shattering baseball conversations, but you would talk it up. Or like, oh, this guy at least kind of knows. To not know what Aaron Judge's number, Babe Ruth's number. I mean, to not know like these basic things is I thought you were doing a bit at first, but it's you're just kind of an idiot.
Well, I think you said you called me like a Kaiser Soze of
Yeah.
sorts.
Yeah.
And I will admit, like the Aaron Judge one was absurd. Like watching that back, like I know 99 deep down. But it's
But the
just
thing is, like, that shouldn't be a deep down
Yeah.
I know.
one.
I know.
You
He
shouldn't have
wears
to
a
rack
number.
your
He
brain
wears
for
a
that.
number that no one else wears, and he's the best player
I
on the
I
team that you
I
are rooting for.
I can't explain it. I think it's just a lot of the time in the moment, I'm just nervous, put on the spot, and just blank. But
Yeah,
again, but again, like that isn't a blank number. I mean, Babe Ruth,
yeah. Dude,
but
numbers are hard sometimes. Like, I struggle with you know, the Packers offensive line and stuff. Like, there's so many numbers sometimes, but like with baseball, there's just nine hitters, so it's like. And then 99, I don't know. That was crazy. It legitimately, like Tommy said, like I didn't believe it was true. I thought you were duping everyone. Instead, you duped us. And I feel like, I don't know, we had quite a few baseball conversations that, you know, we would have stopped the conversation and made it about you if you said
yeah.
something asinine like that. And it never happened. So you did a good job in hiding it, or you're just an idiot, or both. But
A
we'll
little
get
bit of
into
Yeah.
it,
both, I
I guess,
guess.
at
Were
some
you
point.
just like every time like that you talked to us about the Yankees at all, like after you made a point and we didn't call you out, we were just like, yes, I got through that. Like a sentence that I did not fuck up.
No, for me, they've always been, I always say like my third team. Like the Knicks take precedent above everyone and everything for me. And then I'd say it's kind of like Giants and more recently BC and then the Yankees. So like I do think I'm more limited in my knowledge on them, and obviously so. But again, I think it's a mix of that, a mix of on the spot pressure, Kirk staring you down and asking you questions. It's a complete mind fuck sometimes. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, yeah, to be
proven
fair,
time and time again. I'm an idiot though.
Kirk's intimidating for sure. So I could see, yeah, my brain freaking out talking to him too. How long have you been a Yankee fan for?
Uh, I guess technically in terms of like when I watched fairly consistently was probably 2013 on. But like I remember moments of watching like 2009, but again, like that time just kind of just goes past me
How
sometimes, and
old are
I
you?
can't think of it. 24.
Got it. So yeah, I guess you were kind of young, and oh, you're like 9 and 09.
Yeah. Like I think 2009 was when I was like I got super into like the Knicks and right before like Mellow Stat, Jeremy Lin, all that. And that's
I
kind
mean,
of
that's
where
fair.
I
Like
took
I
off.
was like I was like 8 for the 2000 like one World Series. That, so I guess if you compare that, I remember bits of that. I don't remember it vividly, but
I think the main
crazy.
argument and Kirk's thing that he might get annoyed at is that like I just don't pay due respect to the history and everything with the team. Like
Yeah,
I'll maybe
for
hear a
sure, man.
stat, I'll maybe hear a name, and it's just like, oh, cool in the moment, and then whatever, I just throw
If
it
I
Yeah,
away.
like
asked you like whose nickname was the Iron Horse, would that means nothing to you?
No, I got nothing.
Like what if
yeah,
I said like what catcher for the Yankees won 10 world or yeah,
yeah,
10 World Series? Yeah.
yeah.
I would
Or
He has a
guess
museum.
I would guess Thurman Munson, maybe.
oh boy.
Nope.
And
All right,
I'm-
hold on. If I were to get, all right, what Yankee tragically died in a plane crash?
Thurman Munson.
Yeah, there you are.
Rocky
Or
Jersey.
Corey Lytle.
That you know what? It would be great if you said Corey Lytle.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. Okay, who was in? We're just gonna buzz you now with trivia.
Lay it on.
And we didn't prepare anything. We're just gonna go back and
Cool.
forth. But who's in the core four for the Yankees? Who's the core four?
So we did this on the show though, but it's Jeter, Jorge, Pettit, and Mariano Rivera.
All right.
Who did Mickey Mantle have his home run battle with?
Yeah.
61.
They made a movie about this.
See, people throw the movie all the time too, and that was the thing in the Tommy.
Great movie.
I got nothing.
He's also the guy that Judge was just like. He was so in the news where Judge.
Yeah, that's true. He was in the news. His son was at every game at the end.
His son became a hateable figure because of how many times they showed him. Nothing.
Roger Maris.
Okay.
Who calls?
Ring a bell?
Yes, it rings a bell. But again, like I'll say that too, and I'm like, I'll hear a name and I'll be like, yeah, that sounds kind of familiar. And Kirk's like, I hate when you do that. Like, you obviously just don't know.
Yeah, that's like a old dozen thing, right? When someone doesn't know, they're like, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Who calls the games for the Yankees on the radio?
That's John Sterling.
And
is it Susan Waldman? I think.
Okay, you got that.
All right.
If you got that wrong, I was just gonna shut the laptop.
Whose nickname was Godzilla?
Is that now? You say that, and I technically don't know 100%, but I'm going to guess Hideki Matsui.
Thank God.
Right.
Okay.
Thank fuck God. All right, this is going a little. You must have really took an Adderall and studied last night or something.
I think it's more so since the Tommy thing. I've just been like, when I see stuff now, I try to just lock it in and just take in as much as possible.
That stream was crazy.
What would you guys? How long would it have taken you guys?
Not days.
3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah. Just name power hitters.
And just because of Frank Robinson?
Frank Robinson is the one that I probably would have struggled with the most.
Yeah.
I looked at the list after. I think I got 9 pretty quickly, and then Frank Robinson might have tripped me up. I don't think for 36 hours or however long it took you, but.
Well, I will say, I've gotten a lot of flack for everything as well, but I did see the clip of Marty giving you hints, and not that I would have done any better. I probably would have done worse.
Those were egregious hints. Now I think he said he was just trying to be funny, but though I in the moment was so fucking angry at him that I wanted to scream. Doing hip hip for Jose Molina and not Jorge Posada was out of this world.
Yeah, asinine guess.
So where do you guys? No, go ahead.
Who did the Yankees lose in the 2003 World Series?
The Red Sox.
How could they play the Red Sox
in the World Series to the Red Sox?
See, I just say things sometimes, and it doesn't even make sense on paper.
That was the other thing when you didn't know the teams in the AL East. Not knowing that the Yankees can't play the Red Sox in the World Series is stunning.
Crazy.
Stunning.
I don't know. I'm an idiot.
So you have no idea who they lost to?
No idea off the top.
The Marlins.
That would have taken me 3 days to get to.
Oh my God.
The Yankees blow a 3-0 series lead to in 2004. No.
The Dodgers?
Come on, man! There's no way.
It's impossible. How have you not even stumbled upon that little nugget?
I probably have, but I just
the Red Sox.
Well, I thought we were just saying World Series, and then
literally the worst moment of any Yankee fans' lives. Like family deaths are way less important.
Who did Aaron Boone hit his home run off of to go to the World Series?
Oh God. Kurt Schilling.
Oh, no, I meant the team, but
Oh,
Oh, I thought you meant the pitcher.
oh, there's no way he'd get the pitcher. That would be impressive.
no
But you know
shot.
the team?
Yeah. If he knew the pitcher, that actually would be nuts based off of prior answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the team?
Uh, the Giants.
You named the
Said
guy
you
on
named
on the
pitcher
team.
on the
Oh, well,
team.
I don't. You in my head now. See, this is what happens. I just get
Red
in my
Sox.
head. All right.
Tim Wakefield for the record.
Wakefield.
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
I mean, this is the Dodgers answer is crazy.
I think that the 3-0, of all the clips I've seen of you and everything today, I think the Red Sox 3-0 series lead might be it's that or Aaron Judge. Both are very close.
Judge is brutal. Like I just know that. Like that is just like again, like that is one that you just know because it's 99. It's an easy number.
What number does Garrett Cole wear?
45.
Yeah, wow.
I thought
Yeah.
you were going to say 42. And
No, I've made that mistake before.
I did see the clip of somebody. You didn't know the Mariano number, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, insane. What I had like do you know more? Like if I asked you who's the Yankees starting second baseman, do you know that?
Yeah, it's Glaber.
Okay. So you
That's
just
the thing.
it's like you watch. You're like the 51st date,
Yes,
but it's like
yes.
at the end of every season, you're just memory wipes from the season before.
Pretty much, and I think that goes for like a lot of teams too. Like not just baseball. Like I think I just get super into the current team, and for better or worse, there's just waves of how I go about watching. And like this year, I'm like super into the Yankees because with the stream and everything, like it just kind of made me want to watch more baseball this year. So like I've been pretty locked in on the team, and they look great, by the way, right now. I don't know if you guys. I mean, Soto. I think Tommy, I saw you say like you should just give him a deal immediately as soon as you can. I think
said
that
like 12 years, 576 million. I think the math works out to 48 million a year, which apparently wants more than Ohtani average, which is like 46 without the deferrals.
Yeah, there's no number I wouldn't go to.
have you guys been to a game yet this year?
Been to 2.
So what I've heard is that like Soto's been super interactive with the fans and just seems like he loves being there, like has been kind of just like waving and everything like throughout the game to everyone.
Yeah, he called the team family last night. He said it feels like I don't think I've ever seen him say that about a team. And he's trying to make really good first impressions and he's doing a fucking great job of that. But yeah, the way he fires with the crowd and plays with them, and he couldn't be doing a better job. And then the rest of the team following suit, doing a great job too. So yeah, they're rolling, man. They're 10-2. It's their second 4-game winning streak of the year already. That's crazy. I think it's their 4th time they've ever started 10-2 in their history. I wouldn't give you that for trivia. Oh, I have one.
Okay.
Including the current one. Name the last 3 Yankee managers.
So Boone,
Good.
Girardi,
Good.
and I think I fucked this up in the past, but Torrey.
Yeah.
Okay. So I used to
not
know that one.
Credit. Like, here's the thing: when you get these trivia questions right, you don't get credit.
Yeah, it's like survival.
Like none of these are like difficult questions. Like it's just you avoid getting them wrong.
I have a gun pointed at your head and I just don't fire it. That's basically what happens.
Right. You don't get like, you don't get $1 million. Just don't get shot in the head.
Yeah. No. Exactly. I think it goes back and forth with that with Kirk too, where it's like sometimes I can't answer the simplest questions, and when I do get something, he's like, "Oh, good job!" Like, but deep down, it's like, no, like you should just know these things.
Who is Mr. November?
Jeter.
Oh my
God. I mean,
God,
I didn't get that right. Like recently,
you didn't get that right. That was a guess.
No, I mean it's a good, strong guess, educated guess, but
yeah.
Who's Mr. October?
No chance. Literally no chance.
I don't know, Lou Gehrig.
my God.
Wait, Hubs. It was Reggie Johnson. You heard that name?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, of
How does
course.
Reggie Jackson.
Jackson?
Well,
Dude,
when you guess a million names, sometimes these other ones that get thrown out just seem real at this point.
Fair.
No,
How
it's
did you
not.
end up? How did you end up getting to I still am amazed that you just happened to guess the name. Tell me.
And he was so close, like what, a day before, right? Of actually, he
Well, they
said
said it twice on the broadcast. Like,
yeah, but you yourself came really close to this. You didn't say it, but you came close, I feel like.
yeah, I think John Cyborg was probably the closest I got to it. But I think it got to the point where I think Kirk gave me Jim, and then it was TOME, or no, just the T with like OME spaced out, or HOME technically. But yeah, and I think before that, I guess Jim Time. Like,
Oh, I
before
got
it
one.
even got there.
I got a trivia one. So this current stadium the Yankees are in.
Yes.
The one before it, where was that?
In wouldn't it? I mean, wouldn't it just be the Bronx?
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
Literally right next.
It was
door.
a trick question. But yeah,
Well,
like,
I'm not gonna lie, it was fucking with me, and I almost said
you
Harlem.
said Staten Island. That was
But yeah, no, I just to kind of circle back, I think the team is looking great this year. I was surprised early on with just some of the younger bats, like before Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Soto obviously just started getting hits. I thought you're seeing a lot of great stuff out of Volpe right now.
yeah. Volpe's been the star. He's been bigger than Soto, I think. Like Soto's like the name, but Volpe's been the best player on the team. Defensively, he's been great, like making go plays every which way, steals bases. The stance and change in his approach has been noticeable and resounding and just eye opening to
He's
see.
my favorite Yankee to watch right now,
Yeah.
even more than Judge and Soto. Like I look forward to Volpe at bats the most.
Is
Yeah,
that
that's
because
the other way, goes to right field, little single through the right side,
Yeah.
ground ball single, Jeter-esque. I live.
I was gonna say, is it like because of the Jeter comparison? Because I think
I
this
think
year,
so.
especially like in the field as well, you're starting to see those moments that it's just complete flashbacks. As limited
Yeah,
as I may
I
have.
would say it's more just like the importance of him to the team. Like if he's going and he's currently hitting seventh, and at some point he's going to be a leadoff hitter this year. I like that they're easing him up there, but the bat just wasn't there for him. He had 1 month of excellence at the plate, and then it all kind of faded away yet again. The defense was great. His calling card down the minors was offense. Like it wasn't defense. It was good defense, but it was great offense. So if he can be that guy for us, that makes the lineup so much lengthier, so much deadlier. They passed on a wave of shortstops a couple of years ago. Carlos Correa, Corey Seager, Simeon, etc., Trey Turner, because they believe in this guy, and also because they probably didn't want to spend money on those guys. And they're like, oh, that's the cheaper options in-house. Let's go with that. But what we're seeing so far, and it's still early, but like there's a lot of, obviously positivity. They made the right move. They made the right call. And if that money goes to Juan Soto and they can get Volpe, that was absolutely the right move.
Right. And I have to bring it up because it seems to plague the Yankees every year, but everything's going great now. It's the injury bug. I mean, we're already seeing it with LeMahieu, Garrett Cole. When they return, it's obviously going to open things up even more, hopefully. Yep. But who else? I don't want to wish ill will, but is there anyone
Loaiza's done.
Loaizaga as well.
And that's brutal because
they'll get hurt at some point.
Yeah. And he's looked great too. Dude, his at-bats the last 4 or 5 games, every single one of them has been great. Good swings. But yeah, at some point he will go down. It's just kind of what happens with him, to kind of quote Cashman. Loaisiga's injury is bad. Obviously he's done for the year. Their bullpen was already thin. They have 2 guys you can rely on. Everyone else is like, well, wait and see. And then they have a few guys coming back from the injured list. At some point, Canley will be soon. Efros will be in the summer. But they're thin. And Loaizaga was going to be a 2-inning Michael King guy for them. that ain't the case anymore. You might not ever see Johnny Loizaga as a Yankee ever again. This was it. So that one was really brutal. Cole seems to avoid a disaster. He had no discomfort from playing catch the other day, which was huge. But
it seems like he just really is dying to go back out there. Is the consensus?
Yeah,
there was an
I like
that you're seeing
said,
from
like he'll know when he goes back. Like I don't trust the Yankees training staff as far as I can throw him. Like they don't know anything. They misdiagnosed everything right off the bat. Like Garrett Cole, just trust your body, trust your own doc. Like no, don't listen to a single Yankee trainer.
Right. Yeah, and he treats his body like a temple. Like he knows every like that guy knows every ounce of a carb that goes into his body. Like there's nothing he's not aware of what's going on. He's the reason. Really, I would guess. I don't know if it's been written, but I would assume he's the one who shut himself down, and it wasn't somebody like he was like, "Yo, I'm not. I know something's up here. We got to look at this." I wonder if like a normal Yankee doctor would be like, "Keep going.
Yeah,
you'll pitch through it or something like that." So, but that's one of the more dangerous parts of the team is Cole's not here, and Judge has done zero.
Yeah,
and Glaber's done nothing. And those three guys are very good baseball players, if not elite, the best players at their position. So when those guys get online, that's terrifying. It's not like every single guy on the team's clicking right now. There are holes, and they're still thriving and still just pushing their way. And they played the fucking like three best teams you could play to start the year where no one else, they opened in Houston, swept them. Then they went to Arizona. They were in the World Series, took 2 or 3. Then they went back home to open against Toronto, a team that always gives them trouble. Took 2 or 3. They've already taken the first 2 here against Miami, another playoff.
4 playoff teams from last year.
Yeah.
So like they're just taking the best and fucking punching back, and it's great to see. And at some point they're going to play terrible teams and just destroy them. You see like Boston open up with a soft schedule, and everyone ends up playing. It all evens
Boston's
out.
doing better than I kind of thought they would, though.
I think everything started to fall apart yesterday with Story being out for the year, Pavetta's elbows done, fucked. It was just I feel like a very dark day for Boston yesterday.
I wouldn't mind the Red Sox being good and like having that Yankee Red Sox rivalry back. Like I don't want to rivalry with the fucking Orioles this summer.
No, I said that. Yeah. Baseball's at its best when the Yankees and Red Sox are going neck and neck at each other. I don't think the Red Sox are going to be that for a few years, but.
Well, I do think just from the shortstop position with the Orioles, now that Jackson Holliday is getting called up, I am interested to kind of see that development and growth between him and Volpe going forward. I think that'll be kind of exciting. But looking ahead, just to switch it up here, I mentioned before the Knicks are my favorite team, always have been.
So you know the Knicks.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Like, so
I mean, I don't know that much about the Knicks, but I mean, I know decent. Like, should we test them?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
We'll test them throughout. Well, let's get into this. I'll talk about some things.
Okay. I'm not going to pull a Stephen A. Smith and mention that Grimes.
That was fucking crazy.
He doesn't watch. He doesn't. It's so fucking annoying. He does this all the time where he just speaks for the fan base, and anything he says just isn't actually the case for.
What bothers me the most is it's when. And I think bandwagon fans are a big part of sports. Like people who rip on like hockey bandwagon. I'm a bandwagon Ranger fan. But
I only watch them in the playoffs. Shouldn't you want like more fans on your side and just going at and going crazy like that? I think that's as long as you just don't try and lie to everybody that you are a genuine fan. That's what Stephen A. does, and that's what bothers me. Is like, if they're down at halftime in game 1 of the first round of the playoffs, and he's like, "Oh, I can't do it with this team." It's like, you don't feel that. That's a fake emotion. You don't feel agony right now. You're not experiencing what an actual that's what bothers me. When you
I think a cool thing about the Knicks too is like, I actually probably watched more Knicks basketball this year than I ever have. So like,
it's the best year I've ever seen as a fan.
But like even years where I haven't watched them as much, there's just like something with the Knicks is like a New York City pride thing. Mm-hmm. Like they're the only team that like the whole city kind of rallies around. I mean, I guess you have like a few net fans, but
no, you don't.
I think there's something cool about like
not anymore, especially.
Yeah. Like living in Boston, you see like they just all rally around the same team, and it's sick.
Yeah.
A bunch of cities have that. Whereas like New York is, Yankees, Mets are split, Rangers, Islanders, Devils, Giants, Jets. Like Knicks is just like the universal, like the city fucking loves Knicks basketball, runs on Knicks basketball. Like all the videos outside Bing Bong, all that shit.
Oh
Like
yeah.
there's just something like the fact that we're about to have a spring where like the Knicks and Rangers might both go on like decent playoff runs, like that's awesome. Just sitting outside of the bar and like watching the Knicks and Rangers probably have nights where they're both on at the same time. Like that I'm looking forward to just
There's
as
a palpable buzz when those teams are,
Oh
fighting in the
yeah.
playoffs together. Like there is, I didn't realize till yesterday how fucking good. Like I watched the Rangers here and there. They're definitely,
the Rags, baby. We are fighting. We're gonna win the President's Trophy.
dude, they have the most points in hockey.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. I didn't even realize that.
I went to a game the other day. They looked great. Matt Rempe,
Yeah, he
he's
just
fighting.
fights everybody.
The
Yeah.
Bread Man, Panarin,
I
Kreider is
did
gonna
see who got fucking lit up last night. It's blanking my someone got decked by the Islanders last night. They're like talking about whether it's a dirty hit. Mika. I think Mika got wrecked. But yeah, the Knicks are sick. They got a big win last night against Chicago.
Yep.
They're currently the 3. Would love to get the 2. The Bucks are obviously dealing with Giannis's injury.
I mean, we lost Randall as well. So, I mean, that's my
Yep.
main thing going into the playoffs is for a while now, I've had them going to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics and kind of winner takes all there. Like, I think whoever wins that might be winning the finals this year. How much of a hindrance do you think not having Randall now is? I personally don't see it making that much of a difference, though.
Oh, I mean,
I'd rather have OG healthy than Randall. If I had to choose
100%.
one.
Yeah.
I don't think they could beat Boston without Randall. I don't think there's enough offensive firepower because it's like
Not even with Mitch Robb back now, though, against Porzingis. That helps a ton.
Well, I don't think they could beat the Celtics with or without Randall.
I think they could have beaten him with Randall. I think they absolutely could have.
Right now. I mean, besides last night.
But to me, they can beat any other team in the East as currently constructed without Randall.
But that's what I'm even saying though. Like you go up against the Celtics in an Eastern Conference Final, and let's say that pushes 6-7. I mean, at that point, if you get there, who's to say they can't? Like we've seen everything under the sun with Brunson this year. I'm ready and willing to say that he's the best point guard in Knicks history, and that's more biased because I'm actually watching him. But I think this team is phenomenal. I think another name to watch down the stretch is going to be Bogdanovich. I think he could come out of nowhere in the playoffs and just really start lighting it up.
You kind of saw though last night against the Bulls, they went really tight with their rotations, and he didn't play in the second half. I don't know how much of a factor he's going to be in the postseason. Like the rotations really like shorten in in the postseason. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, he could be. He's instant offense off the bench. He had a few. Like he was good in that Bucks game. I feel like. So was Mitch, but yeah, it just sucks because I feel like I do think they're gonna get to the Eastern Conference Finals as either a 2 or a 3 here. I think they can take down anyone else. Honestly, the Magic probably scared me the most of anyone.
I was about
else.
to say the Magic scared me a ton this year. Yeah,
the positive there though is when you go down to Orlando, it's all Knicks fans too. So it's all going to be home games. So that's the positive of playing them. But defensively, they've got guys they can throw at. They have a ton of lanky wings that really can give you problems. And then Suggs is a good on-ball defender with Brunson. Isaac's a fucking monster. Banchero's a star. There's something there that could be a tricky team. I would love for them to run into Boston. I don't think they can beat Boston, but they can wear them down a little bit maybe.
Definitely.
If we get Bucks as the 2 seed, Knicks as the 3, Magic as the 4, I think that's the best setup for the Knicks. Because then they play Pacers probably, then Bucks, and then like you said, maybe there's just an off chance that
Bucks with potentially without Giannis now after he got hurt the other night.
Yeah, it seems like he avoided the worst, but Cavs are very tricky. They can be re-aggravated instantly. I also genuinely I'm not scared of the Bucks, even with Giannis healthy. I just don't think that's a very good team. With Doc Rivers coaching them and Dame I think is immensely overrated and old at this point. I think we'd cook them. Cavs, we have their number. The Pacers have not been the same since this is the trade deadline and Halliburton's hamstring injury. The Sixers.
I think we get one Obi game though. Maybe even in the Garden
sure.
if we're playing them.
And maybe they hang their hat and they played us well this year. Every time I feel like the Knicks have played the Pacers this year, they've been very, very undermanned. So I don't know. The only team that scares me is Boston. I really think they can handle themselves against anyone else. So which is very exciting and crazy to say as a Knicks fan. You don't see that. You don't hear that. Like the Knicks are very comfortable against any other team besides one team in the East. That's crazy.
And there's that Porzingis narrative as well, just revenge almost.
And honestly, and if you wait to see them in the East Conference Finals, that guy gets hurt a lot. And if that team is without Porzingis, it is a very different basketball team to face, and a very more easier team to handle. So we'll see. But it's a very exciting brand of basketball to watch every night, and it's a very Tibbs basketball brand, like where they treat every game like a playoff game in the regular season, and that's typically what fucks those teams as they get worn out. And we'll see. But Brunson, man, it's incredible. He had the quietest 45 points I think you'll ever see last night. Like I was watching the game, I was flipping back and forth between the Yankees, and he just has 45. It's like every single night he has 30 plus or 40 plus. He is incredible. The defensive rules that they changed and they're emphasizing with the NBA since the All-Star break they thought they would really screw him because he loves to draw those fouls in the paint and be shape-shifty. He's kind of adapted to that as well. It's a very fun team. DiVincenzo's a 40% 3-point shooter. Like
unbelievable.
I did bring this up on Pick Central yesterday. I think one thing that could hold the Knicks back is Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart are both married. Dante DiVincenzo is a girlfriend. I want my young New York Knicks superstars single, fucking out there in New York City being driven by pussy. When you're driven by pussy, it's another you unlock another type of motivation.
I have inside sources that say they're still out there hitting the bars, hitting the town. So
well, they're still hitting the bars, hitting the town, but I don't.
Yeah, no need for a one night stand. Wake up, tired and ragged the next morning. They're instead, hitting the town, going out, going home.
I think me and Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson and Dante, I think we could be good friends. I'd love to run into them.
I could see you and DiVincenzo hanging out.
I don't know. DiVincenzo is a little intimidating. He's got that very New Jersey Italian look.
Yeah,
I feel like he never goes outside. Diva doesn't do anything. But Hart is genuinely like a hilarious person.
Yeah,
their chemistry they have is the chemistry Brunson and Hart have is.
It is crazy that almost an entire college team is just now still together winning games on.
Yeah, and they're almost certainly going to get Bridges at some point from. I feel like
absolutely
there's too much chat. I don't think they go after Mitchell anymore.
When's he free agent?
I don't know, but Mitchell. Everyone wants to pencil in Donovan Mitchell, but I don't want anything to do
I don't want Donovan Mitchell. Like if the Knicks are
at this point, you don't need him.
I'm okay with the Knicks just doing what they have and making minor improvements, but because I don't want to blow up the roster unless it's like a legit stud. Like Donovan Mitchell does not fit.
Bridges still has 2 more years. Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, Kevin Durant loves to change places every fucking 3 minutes, and the Suns are a disaster. And realistically not going anywhere. I'm sure his name will come up in trade rumors, but do you want an older Kevin Durant on this team to kind of mess everything up? It's crazy that a Knicks fan can say no to that.
Yeah.
Knicks are in a position to say no to Kevin Durant. People are going to throw out Karl Anthony Towns. I want nothing to do with Karl Anthony Towns.
Absolutely not. I'm much more okay with just keeping Mitch Rob at the center. I mean, his field goal percentage is amazing.
Well, yeah, it would be Randall. It would be more Randall or Towns. And just sucks that now this is 2 years in a row where Randall is banged up.
And hasn't proven really anything in the playoffs.
No. So, and this was kind of he before the injury, he was playing like an all NBA guy. So, and I just feel for him. I wish I don't want them to be a coulda, woulda, shoulda team, but it almost seems like they're going to be at some point, unless
he's going to be their own. He's barring anything, barring something unfortunate happening over the next week. He's their only main injury going into the playoffs, right?
Right.
Yeah,
but
they got everyone back.
Big injury to have.
Yeah, no, I know, but there was a time where they had literally everybody hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mitch Rob is just recently back. Hardenstein did a phenomenal job throughout the season. We're probably going to lose out on him going forward just because he can get big money now. But yeah. All right. So just to kind of wrap up here, this is a very strange podcast. I haven't done it in forever, but then we would kind of just go into
podcast. What podcast is?
I have no idea what we're doing.
This is What's Poddin', baby. What's Poddin'? I did this before Barstool.
This is like a Jack Coleman podcast.
Yeah, but people know about it in the Kirk Minahan world show world. So I figured we'll bring it back to it with you guys.
Kirk's gonna definitely yell at us somehow.
No, you guys should be all right. So just to kind of wrap up, I kind of would just ask just kind of pop culture stuff. Are you guys watching anything good on TV? Any movies that you've recently seen you're kind of liking? I know Survivor.
I would just watch this season. Watched Anyone But You on the plane. Had a couple of glasses
Haven't
of
seen
white
it yet.
wine.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. What a lovely rom-com. An absolutely incredible rom-com. And I'm not just saying that because Sydney Sweeney has large breasts. It was just a really good film.
I
And I
enjoyed it.
watched
I generally
Right.
enjoyed that.
it was to
I
me,
saw it in theaters.
that's the perfect movie. Like an IMDb rated 6 to 6.8 comedy rom-com,
It's all you
Jason
want.
Bateman range, like the perfect, like that, like a big studio where like it's just bright looking, like the colors are bright, like just to me, like that is the perfect film. And they're never that amazing, but like they're just an enjoyable 90 minutes to watch. And then I also
Yeah.
watched Ricky Stenicki, the
I
John
saw
Cena.
that. I actually
Dude,
kind of like that a lot. Yeah.
dude, that movie is so polarizing. So, Rear Ads, I think, watched it like the moment it came out and tweeted about it like 3 a.m, saying it was one of the best movies he's ever watched in
I
his
saw
life.
that. Yeah.
And then I heard a few,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a hilarious tweet. And then the next morning, a few other people, more like the movie heads in the office, said it was one of the worst things they've ever seen. Then
Oh,
my
well,
buddy
that's
said
ridiculous.
then my buddy said it was an atrocity. And then I hear other good things. So I have no idea but I like
Just a
John Cena.
fun, raunchy comedy. That,
I
like,
think John
it's-
Cena is a very funny actor in this like kind of role. Like him in Blockers he's just really
Yeah.
good. So I do want to see this.
It's none of the things you mentioned. It's not one of the
Okay.
best movies of all time. It's
Yeah.
not an atrocity. It's just it is funny, you know, it's not,
Yeah. It is what it
but
is.
it's a
It's
funny,
good.
enjoyable, fine enough premise. And yeah, John Cena's really good in the role.
And Zac
Okay.
Efron, you get Zac Efron in there too.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, eye candy, Zac Efron.
Yeah, come on.
I saw Anyone But You in theaters. Real quick on that, it was like 10 days after it came out, completely packed. Like
Wow.
there wasn't a
It was a
seat
slow
open.
time, I think, when it was out. There wasn't too much else out there.
Like 90% women, but like I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. A very good movie. If you're like just starting like date a girl and you're like, yo, let's watch something. It's like you're just gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a good time watching that movie,
Perfect.
and then whatever. I just watched Three Body Problem on Netflix.
Heard about that. Yeah. Well,
Sci-fi, futuristic, alien invasion, threat of alien invasion movie. It's based off like a really good trilogy of books, apparently. I don't really read books, but it was very good. I enjoyed it. And yeah, I think it just came out on Netflix like a month ago or less than that. And Isaac Gonzalez is really attractive. So I watched that.
I'll throw a book recommendation out there. I've been trying to
yeah,
get
we
more
love a
into
good book
reading.
rec.
I read this book. I think it's called Godfall by like Van
Okay.
Jessen or something. No, I think it's like just a random book. Like I saw it in a bookstore, bought it, can't find anything about it like online.
Yeah.
It was just a great fucking book. It's like this alien ship clashes down, but it's also like a murder mystery, like sci-fi. And Ron Howard bought the rights to it. I think they're going to make a TV show out of it. So you can say, oh, you read the book before the TV show came out. I can't find anybody talking about this
Wow.
book, but it was just a pretty good book.
Good to know. I'll check it out. And then the very last thing here that I've always done on this show, I'm a big roller coaster fan. The show goes all over the place. What are your guys' thoughts on roller coasters? Are you big coaster heads? Tommy, I don't know. Are you really? I would have thought
I do,
too.
yeah. You would not expect me to be a roller coaster person. As a kid, I wasn't for a while. I was always afraid of the upside down ones because
Same, yeah.
I was afraid they would get stuck. But then I just learned about gravity and realized that probably can't happen. So I went on roller coasters a lot as a kid. King Ka, Great Adventure.
All time great. Yeah. Yep.
Then like I probably hadn't been on a coaster in, I don't know, 15 years. But when we were in Orlando for Storm Chasers, we went on some coasters and it was great.
We're at Disney or Universal.
SeaWorld. They have some actually great
okay.
roller coasters.
Yeah, I went to SeaWorld like one time when I was super little. So I couldn't really go on anything crazy there. Just saw like the Shamu show or whatever, which I guess is like canceled now.
Yeah, SeaWorld's under big fire. I live 25 minutes. I grew up 25 minutes from Great Adventure.
Okay. Same around that. Yeah.
Don't like roller coasters. I've been on roller coasters. I don't like them. I won't go on them pretty much again. I would be a camp counselor in the summer, in like high school and college, and I would we'd go and I would take all the kids food vouchers while they went on the roller coasters, and I would just eat for free a lot of food.
Wow.
Great counselor. I don't like wooden roller coasters. They give me a headache.
Yeah,
I'll do them, but yeah.
Right?
Unenjoyable, not that fun. My head, it gives me an instant headache every time.
I think they got rid of
Why does it give you a
El Toro,
headache?
actually.
Because it's bumpy?
I think it's the bumpiness that just fucks with me.
Huh.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, El Toro was the famous one, right? The wooden one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
went on that
It
once or
just shut
twice.
down recently, I believe, because it just kept
That's
getting
sad.
caught or whatever. But yeah, great ride, awesome ride.
Damn, I remember when that ride started, so that's sad to hear it.
Yeah,
shut. Fuck.
RIP. Well, thanks guys. Thanks for joining me on here. As we just kind of had a bit of downtime this week with KMS, I thought it would be a great time to keep checking in on my Yankees knowledge, which doesn't seem to be improving at all.
Has not
But
Wait, I
gotten
have
any better.
I have one more for you.
all
In
right, yeah.
leading up to the 2009 season, the Yankees acquired 3 major players.
Dobbs. What is
I
he, the
know
baseball almanac?
CC is one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Teixeira?
that's 2.
Okay.
This should be a very good way to end. You're not getting the third.
I'm gonna guess.
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint.
Wait,
well, I
wait.
don't even want it. I gotta
Oh,
guess.
Okay.
No, let him guess.
Nick Swisher.
They did acquire him that
They
offseason.
did
Yes, but
acquire him. That's not the guy I was thinking, but they
Okay.
did acquire him. Oh, the other guy's a
He
pitcher.
was a trade, not a free agent. But
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck this one up now.
that's all right. You know what? This was more impressive than I would have
All right.
expected.
Yeah, I was
All right. But see,
Yeah.
we fall into that trap of like these are things I should just know.
like I thought you were gonna
As
say
a
like
fan.
Randy Johnson or something.
Yeah.
No.
It was AJ Burnett.
AJ Burnett.
Okay. Well, there we go. Slight
All right.
slight improvements, getting better every day.
Cool.
But thanks, guys. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you next week on KMS.
Cool. Later.